Do I need to turn the light on? This light?
It seems like it's bright enough.
I get everything I need. Oh yeah, that's plenty bright.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's going on, man? Whoever out there, whoever watching, give everybody a minute to kind of jump on. I don't like that light. Might look funny. What about that one? Too bright?
It's kind of bright.
Well, you can always
That
turn
one
it.
is fine.
You can always turn it down, though.
Yeah. There we go.
What about that one?
Seems like we're in a horror movie or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, maybe that.
But it seems like the same, but
Well, what about that? Is the light too bright? Yeah, you see how the light? Watch this. What about that? That almost looks better than the bright light, don't it?
yeah, you want to turn this light on? Maybe that'll help.
You want to hit it? You right there. Hey, we up. Oh,
yeah,
okay. There you wait. Okay, that might be it. What'd you think? Let me see. What y'all think? How about that? I'm just messing around some stuff. We normally had this going. It just seemed like this time it don't. You know what I'm saying? It's
our son
right.
used it, so it's not set where it normally is.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna get into it anyway. Let me get set up over here on his Instagram real quick. Hey, how y'all doing on this Saturday? Turn that music down in the background. Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N. What?
What is that?
What is what? I don't. Maybe it's my phone because I dropped it so many times. I don't know. AKA Mr. P.I.E.N. Another soulful session of Saturday expression sessions with my lovely wife, my beautiful co-host, the beautiful Kiki. Hey, Kiki.
Hey. Hey, world. It's me again.
Hey, whatever you
Mrs.
got, I'm
P.
just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait till she get it out so she can get in to make sure she here with me.
I have to come up with my own intro saying I don't have one. I'm just
well, you ain't gonna come up with it till it come out. Okay, hey.
Right.
How y'all doing out there on this Saturday? Hopefully everybody had a wonderful, wonderful, blessed Saturday. They got something productive done. I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't know. Hopefully y'all got something productive done and y'all enjoyed yourself. It's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks, love, since we sat here and done this. The last 2 weeks has been
popped in last week, but
yeah, we
not
was out
like
in the
this.
woods.
We was camping. Yeah,
we was out in the woods. Today I want to talk about something I think that's very important. I want to talk about some communication today. I want to talk about some communication. But before we get off of the communication, the first thing I want to do in my communication, I want to get this show started off right. So I want to thank the good Lord above and thank you. And I want to apologize to my wife. I want to apologize to you, love. I want to apologize to you. You know what? You know what? I want to apologize to you because last time I really seen my wife, not like that, but earlier before she wanted to take her nap, we was hollering like cats. No, you don't be telling me like it was going down. Communication was rough. So the reason I say I want to apologize to you because of my communication, like you talked about something that I spoke on about your time coming up, your time being off, and I'll let you go into that, me setting plans for your day and this, that, and the third. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I did do that. But I also said I don't want to do that, whatever, right? But I wanted to apologize because instead of getting clarity and communicating, you know what I'm saying, what I was feeling or what I was thinking, I just spit some stuff out there and I expected you to go with that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So in communication, what I want to talk about today, communication is a big thing. Hey, what's going on, Kimpo? Hey. What's going on, Kimpo? I was like, whose name is that? Wait a minute. But I had to see it in the hey, I thought it was KP at first. Don't be nudging me. I can say that. Y'all see this communication. Anyhow,
barbecue.
Right. And you know, that's what I had to apologize and I had to get that out before we even started the show. And when I was looking at communications, and I got a communications associate's degree, but still, I think we understand what the word communication is, but we don't really know how communication breaks down or what it really is. And I think that if we knew what it really was, then it'll make things easier. It'll make communication easier. So when I was looking up the definitions, what's going on, Kimpo? I seen you in KB, or at least seen KB out there at the Circus of America. He was posting on Facebook some of the cars and stuff. I don't think I've ever been out there, but that's nice.
Yeah, nice.
But when I was looking up communication, it said communication is the imparting or exchanging of information. And so I had to look a little deeper, and you looking at the dictionary on Google, it always gives a second and a third definition. But up under the first definition, there was a bullet point that said the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. And I had to go back in and underline the part successful.
Yes.
Because I was telling my wife, hey, I got plans for you to do this come the first of the month. And she had already had plans. And me communicating that to her, it wasn't nothing bad. I was talking about doing some fasting and stuff, and maybe we could do this for our anniversary. I didn't think it was bad. But what it wasn't was the successful conveying or sharing of an idea that I had for us, for you, when you already had your own plan. So communication is a powerful thing. And if you miss it, even though it's the simplest thing that we do every day, it can almost destroy for a period of time, small period. With God, all things are possible. You can change it. Look at me, brought to you by Mr. P.I.E.N and the good people of Mr. P.I.E.N LLC. I'm back. Okay, so yeah, we going there today. It's gonna be a good day today. So anyhow, with that being said, what communication? You know, all things are possible. Just because it's rough now don't mean it can't change. And I'm going to take a pause here so you can get in there with everything I've said, apologizing and everything, and what communication is. Also, I want to apologize to our supporters, and I want to say thank you. Usually I'd be like, man, I don't care. They tune in when I tune in. 50-50 still, sometimes that's true, but let's just be honest. I thank everybody for supporting us, that listen to us, that rock with us, and take the words that I say or that we say and take it to heart. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, these words that I speak, and I say this to my wife a lot, I don't know that they be hitting people the way they hitting people. I don't know that God be using me to bless somebody the way he be using me.
Hey, Juanita.
Love that topic, bro, and definitely speaks the real to me. Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Kimpo. Hey, y'all. Hey, Juanita. Thank you. Usually she'd be like, oh, that'd be sudden. Hey, Miss Smith, or hey, girl. Like, I'm just not over here. So, you back. Oh, absolutely. But, yeah, support. Thank you for everybody that's supporting us and things like that, because I didn't know how God was really using me. I sometimes see myself as the old person I'm telling stories about, not the man that God is showing y'all, or not the man that my wife sees sometimes. So we sometimes even have to continue all the time, communicate and talk with ourselves to remind ourselves. So I wanted to thank y'all for sharing and supporting and following and live watch party. Hey, make sure y'all share this video, live watch party this video right now. Thumbs up, thumbs down, keep commenting so we can get into this communication thing. It might be about an hour and a half today, okay? You hear that, babe? I told him a time.
Thank you, love.
Okay, cool. Communication topic, go.
Really? Then you just transition is
okay.
Just
well,
like
cool. I'm gonna transition. I'm gonna ask you a question.
You go.
So, what do you think about that? Let's go back to.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, okay. Well, let me start by commenting on your apology.
Okay.
You know, definitely, I accept your apology, and the weekend that I planned for the first was kind of like y'all my de-stressor, my opportunity for self-care. So I planned this weekend for self-care because I feel like I'm overworked. I recently resigned from my job. So
hey, get into that thing. We about to get in there today.
I recently resigned from my job.
So Miss P.I.E.N show today.
And this is my last week of work. So come the first, I need to take off that stress and the stress that job added to me and everything that came along with it, so that I can prepare myself, my mind, to go to whatever God has next for us. And so when he's like, babe, we should fast, we should do this. And then I'm like, babe, all that's great, but I need a break. I need this time in between me resigning from my job and us going full force in our business so that I can go in refreshed and renewed. And I need this. And it's funny because he hit me with, I told the ladies at the beginning of the year that they should do self-care and they should take care of themselves. And when they kids and they spouses want them to be superwoman, they should take care of themselves. So I'm looking like, but that don't count for me. That only count for the ladies you was talking about. Like, babe, I want to fast with you. I want to do all these things with you, but I can't keep pouring from an empty cup. It's not healthy for me, and it's not healthy for my kids because now I'm around here. I'm just on 10. I'm on 10, y'all, because I'm irritated. I'm tired. I'm overworked. I'm stressed, and it's just like, y'all, I got y'all, but mom need a break. Wifey need a break, and sometimes we just need a break. And it's like it's not that I don't want to do these things with you, but I know for me, if I don't take a break, I'm not.
That's right.
I'm not gonna be no good, y'all. I'm not.
See, Brazier, what's going on?
I'm not gonna be any good. So I accept your apology because I mean it was a shouting match. It wasn't.
It wasn't. It was cool. It was one of the first facts we didn't have.
Words said that we can't take back. It was just like, no, this is my weekend. Later. I'll do that when I get back, and you'll be okay pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be good. That's why I apologize, because I felt like, I miscommunicated. I didn't convey the right message. Or here's the thing. I didn't listen to the message that you conveyed like 2-3 weeks ago when you said this. Almost a month ago, you was going.
This was not new to him, people. I'm a planner, so
can I just beat my own self up?
New.
Go ahead, you finish. I had my 78 seconds.
No, I was just saying that this is not new. It's not like I sprung on him, 2 days ago. Like, okay, babe, I'm going somewhere. I'm going out of town. I got this weekend planned. Good luck with that. No, this was like a couple weeks ago. I knew I could just feel myself being super irritated about things that I'm normally chill with. And it's just like, hey, it's time for me to take a break between work and school for Ethan and the kids and building a business. And I was just burnt out, y'all. I was just burnt out. So when you feel yourself at burnout, you have to make plans to do something for it so that you don't end up like you're lying about everything. Like everything don't require a lying. My kids like, Mom, can I go outside? And I'm like, my God, I just want a break. I don't care if you go outside or not. And then you like, wow, you just blew up over them asking to go outside. It's not really that serious. But that's when you at your limit. You just need a break. When little stuff that really, normally you chill about, it's now taking you out. Like, don't ask me to share this video because I can't take no more. And it's just like, okay.
Tell you what up though.
It's time for me to take a little hiatus and get my mind right, and then I can come back and we can go full force on this thing. But if I don't do that,
can't go full force.
I can't.
I need you at full force.
I'm running out of gas.
Hey, don't run out of gas. You ain't at full force. The force is weak. Luke. The force is not strong without you. Yeah, stress is a big. A couple things as you was going in there, and I want to get back to a couple things. I don't even know. Juanita said, yes, girl, you definitely got to take a break because she said she going to Jamaica in July. And I ain't really go there because that could be a whole nother.
Yes, let's scroll up. When we going to Jamaica?
Man, I'm working right now.
When we going to Jamaica? Hey, now.
July.
Okay.
Anyhow, why you
going
looking at
July? Okay.
Yeah, so now you're not excited?
What? I still
want
to go.
I'm going to Jamaica.
I'm a planner. If we going in July, I need to plan. I'm all inviting myself to her Jamaica trip.
Hey, that's what happens. Can you scroll back down just in case I missed something for somebody?
But that's awesome. We just went to Jamaica.
Yeah.
In September of last year.
So that's very important. There was a lot of stuff that she said and, you know, being able to release and talk about leaving her job and from the kids and having her time plan, and importance of having that time plan and communicating that and feeling like, you know what, you shouldn't have to get to a point where it gets to a shout match, just the first through the sixth, love.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to get to a point to where it's getting to a shouting match because somebody is communicating.
She said, come on.
Somebody is communicating their feelings with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you shouldn't get to that. And when you go back and you think about that, it says, you know, the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. Now, this show could have went one or two ways. We could have knew we had this riff or a little shouting match in between us, and it might not have been fluent, you know, natural,
right?
Because it would have been a little riff. But coming on and being able to talk about that, coming on and being able to communicate that, what communication is. People wonder why their relationships fail. Relationships don't just fail. Hey, Naisha, I think she in Jamaica right now. One of my cousins is in Jamaica. I think relationships fail because of lack of communication. We believe that communication is just me talking. I'm talking, you talking, I'm talking, you talking. No, you got to take some time and listen and process, because a lot of times we don't process what a person says, and then they're on to the next thing, and you don't get past the first thing. You know what I'm saying? If I would have, or we would have allowed earlier today to just go on the way it went on, it could have carried over into our night. It could have carried over into our week. It could have carried over into our month. It could have carried us over into a divorce. People get divorced because they don't know how to communicate. People break up because they don't know how to communicate. People think I'm talking to you, you not listening to me, so you couldn't clearly hear what I'm saying. That's not communication.
Right.
And if you talking and I'm talking, I don't hear you. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't hear you. We call it double dutching. We go back and forth all the time. We call it double dutching. We go back and forth. But if you want to be successful at anything, you have to learn how to communicate successfully. Not successfully for me, because I said, babe, I got fasting planned out for you. I'm like, hey, fasting, baby, that's spiritual. You got to be on that. Not that she wasn't. She just wasn't on fasting when I said so. And since I didn't communicate or let her communicate back to me what she felt, it was a riff. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of times that things happen in relationships that can be prevented. It's a lot of times that things happen in your job that can be prevented. It's a lot of times that things happen with your children that can be prevented. Just like it's things that happen for people, you know, with their relationship with God, with a greater power, based on what you communicate. In communication, you have to speak, receive the message back, you know what I'm saying, process it, and then spit it back out to make sure they understand or y'all on the same page. So communication goes so much deeper than just, hey, what's going on? You respond, and that's it, because a lot has happened in that time. And I'll kind of pass it on to you because it's something that I want to look up about stages of communication. And, you know, help me out there.
Well, what I was thinking as you was talking is a lot of times we think we're listening to respond. We're not listening to understand. And that's where it's lost, because the shouting match was because we were both trying to get our point across, and we were listening to respond and not listening to understand. So had we slowed down and and I was able to say what I felt, and then I gave him an opportunity to say what he felt, the shouting match would not have occurred. But sometimes you just so frustrated, you're like, no, I just want to get my point across, and he just trying to get his point across, but nobody is really able to get a point across because you're talking at the same time and no one's listening. So a lot of times we listen to respond instead of listening to understand.
Yeah, that's very true. What's going on, Kanara? Thank you for tuning in. Juanita said yes on some stuff earlier, and exactly. That is good, though. We do listen to respond and not to understand. And it's looking at these stages of communication. They say it's 8 stages of communication. It's going to go into some stuff that I learned in my class, and I'll attempt to make it more relatable. You know, it's the sender. Like we said, I send you a message. I send you a message. I tell you something. And then it's the official message, whatever I'm saying, the encoding. I mean, you got to decode what I'm saying. You got to receive it, process it, break it down. So it's being encoded. And then the transmission through, you know, what's going on around you, the background noise. Is somebody else trying to talk to you at the same time? How are you getting the message that I'm sending you? Now the decoding, encoding, you brought it in, decoding, you breaking it down. The receiver and reception, all the same person, response, feedback, and any noise. So they're saying it's like 8 steps in the communication process just when you talking. And we think just because we transferring information or words back and forth that we communicating, when that might not be, what's really happening.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm having a conversation with you and we go to bed angry, I don't know no married couple or boyfriend and girlfriend that say they love each other want to go to bed angry. Let's just get that out there right now, okay? Let me see if can y'all see me over? Yeah, let me just get out there right now. I don't know no couple that want to go to bed angry. I don't. I like my wife. I love my wife. I love cuddling my wife, even if not going to be that night tonight. I still don't want to go to bed angry.
Right.
And if you discover how to communicate, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to go to bed angry. Don't be afraid to do research and see what communication is for you and your significant other to make sure they understand. Like, we still have conversations like, yo, babe, well, the way you said that, okay, case in point. I tell my wife, hey, just give it to me honestly. I think people be sugarcoating stuff. Just give it to me raw. Give it to me honestly. And she like, well, babe, that's not how I'm operating. I'm like, yeah, but that's how I process it. That works for me. Absolutely, I do. You know I do. She said, you better. But that's how I process. I'm like, give it to me honestly. And so when she started giving it to me honestly, raw, I was like, man, you think like you coming off so snappy and everything. What you mad about? She like, babe, that's what you asked for. And since I had never seen it, really, because she's always chill unless we at beefing, that rawness, that emotion that I asked for didn't feel so good when I got it and she wasn't mad. But it's like I told her, I don't want you to stop communicating with me like that. I don't want you to turn that off. I have to learn how to adjust to it because I still want her to be free. I still want you to be open and honest and say what you feel, because with that level of transparency, with that level of in-depth relationship, with that level of communication, we can only go further.
Right.
And that's in any relationship, I think, in life. Spiritual relationship. The more you communicate with God, the deeper you get in prayer or reading your Bible, your understanding, it's better. A relationship, communicating with a music producer if you do music, communicating with your student if you're a teacher, communicating with a dance instructor. The more you get into the communication and learning and understanding what communication is and who a person is, that's when I think we truly move further in life. And a lot of times people don't receive the message that the sender is sending. So the communication is broken probably in the first couple steps.
Absolutely, because my perception is my reality. And you said something in the steps, the 8 steps, that, it's when you're talking, I'm decoding what I think you're saying.
And decoding, yeah.
What I feel you saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my reality, but it may not be what he was trying to convey. We've had a couple conversations where I thought he was saying one thing, but it was actually something else, So if you're not listening to understand, then you'll just take what you heard and you'll go with that version of it instead of getting an understanding for what the person is actually saying to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think taking that time out to pause and really get deeper in a conversation to understand what a person is actually saying to you is very beneficial, because if I just go off of what I think I heard, it may not necessarily be what the other person is trying to convey to you. So
that's true. That is very true. Well, it says a few things, that's barriers to communication and why it doesn't work for some people, and I'm gonna look at a few of these. Semantic barriers. This is a barrier concerned with all sorts of problems which can take place. Echo. Decoded barriers can take place due to faulty words, different interpretations, or transitions, which you was just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Semantic is different interpretations of what you mean. I say, I'll see you later. You know what I'm saying? You like, okay, cool. I'll see you later. My see you later might mean I'm going to see you tomorrow. Your see you later might mean 20
later on
minutes.
the night. Right.
It's like the Key and Peele text messaging video. You want to go? Yeah, I want to go. Oh, well, what time you want to go? You know what I'm saying? So again, different interpretations and translations, that's speaking another language, you know, can throw things off. And then they talk about psychological barriers. These barriers reflect mental state, sender and receiver. Where you at when you having that conversation? Are you upset? Are you angry about something? Did y'all just get done going back and forth at each other? You know what I'm saying? What things are you going through when y'all having this conversation?
And emotional is important, because if you giving off a certain emotion when you respond, like you come off like snappy or you come off like angry, then that takes the understanding to a whole nother level. And you like, wow, why you say it like that? Like, if you just wanted to get some water or you wanted me to get you some, why you ain't just say that? Why you have to be so demanding or snappy? And you're like, what are you talking about? I just asked for a glass of water. So a lot of times, it's not what you say, it's how you saying it in your facial, like those nonverbal cues that that makes a difference too in communication, you know. So it says something even when you don't mean that. And you like, I ain't even mean it like that. Well, you like, well, that's how it came off to me. So it's important too to watch your nonverbal cues, because you can send a message that you're really not trying to say. And that person, again, their perception is their reality. So when I'm giving Ethan my raw, in the moment emotion, he like, oh my God, you trying to comfort me. You trying to tear me down. No, love. This is me conveying what I feel.
Hey, what's going on?
In the emotion that I feel it, but it makes him feel like I'm on the attack. So that's why a lot of times I don't like giving my feelings in my true emotional state, because I don't want it to come off as I'm attacking you, when I really just want to convey
help people, help. I get
what I'm feeling. So a lot of times I'll wait until I can communicate that.
I was sure wondering what Gary Archer was from. I'm sorry. Go ahead and have another conversation.
So I a lot of times I'll wait until I can calm myself, and then I can properly communicate with Ethan what I'm feeling, and I don't come off as I'm attacking him or I'm angry when I'm emotional. So
I'm emotional and I can't let go, and I'm not leaving. Prime time is 1990 something. I'm emotional. Okay, go ahead. It was brought to you by Mr. P.I.E.N and the good people of Mr. P.I.E.N LLC. That laugh was for free because it was on me. All right.
That just happened to y'all.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Lillian. All right, go ahead. You was emotional, so you don't want to.
No, I don't. I personally don't like to communicate when I'm angry, because, like I said, I'm shouting for one, and you're feeling attacked for two, and no one is getting their point across.
And that's true, but I think for me, I guess who I am, I say I want it, and I do. I really want to, because I think when a person is mad, they gonna tell you they honest to God truth. And I think we try to hide behind stuff and not talk about what our real emotions is. We don't communicate what we really feel, and down the line, it causes problems.
But you can still communicate what you feel without it being a shouting match.
But you don't have to have a shouting match.
I can still say to you how I feel, and you not have my emotion behind it.
Absolutely, I completely understand.
Then you don't seem attacked, and I don't come off aggressive. But I can still say, you know what? I didn't like it when you said this to me. I didn't like it when you did that to me. I didn't like it, or I did like it, or I can convey my true feelings without, I don't like what you did. Now, this is a different thing.
Now, that's a whole nother 7 mile, pony down. Here we go. Let's go.
That's a whole nother conversation. And you like, wait a minute. You got your finger in my face. You doing the most.
All that.
Back up. And you like, but babe,
hey, what's
this
going
is my
on,
raw
Jessica?
emotion. I was just trying to tell you how I feel. And you like, well, you ain't had to tell me
well,
like
I ain't
that.
talking about all the extra poppity, snappity, finger point. I ain't talking about
that's my case in point. That's my case in point.
But you don't see, we talking communication. You don't do all that. I've been rocking with you for 24 years now.
Right.
You don't be doing all that. I know when you mad, but you don't be like, now I ain't saying you can't go there. You can go there at times. But when I look at your raw, honest emotion, I know you pull back a lot. And then sometimes I feel like you suffer. You trying to save me? Let me.
Okay.
I feel like that. I ain't saying, and not just me, with other people. I don't communicate what I feel, so people think it's cool to keep doing stuff and doing stuff and doing stuff. And then when I go, y'all like, "Ooh, why you tripping? I ain't even do nothing because I ain't communicate, or you didn't successfully understand what I was conveying to you when I said no, I don't like this. Case in point, hey, we're gonna take these two or three builders from you. Which ones you want? Well, I think y'all should take these. No, we're gonna take these, but that's not helping me. You just asked me, how can you help me? I'm telling you how to help me, and you're telling me you're gonna do what works best for you.
Absolutely.
That you asked me what I want.
Absolutely. And then you try to sell it to me like, oh, you know, I know you said you want that,
so
but
when
this
I
would
say
be so much better for you.
So when I say, right,
why did you ask me then?
So when I say I want your raw, honest emotion, it's like I told you the other day, babe, it's not that I don't want it. Now that you're giving it to me and you telling me, oh no, this is it, and I can identify with it, because before, when I identified with it, when it happened, it was only when I was in trouble. You was mad at me. Now you can express your emotions with me, and you not mad at me. I ain't even put the meat in the oven, people.
We have
y'all go ahead.
tonight.
Y'all go ahead. I gotta be right back.
We eating at 10 o'clock tonight, y'all.
The oven is hot. I just got to put it in.
Chef P.I.E.N forgot to put the meat in the oven, so we eating at 10 o'clock. But it's okay.
So
I ate leftovers. I'm the leftover queen. I enjoy leftovers. I think it tastes better to the next day or 2 days after.
What's going on, Jay? What's going on, Dre? What's going on, Paul, from my Toastmasters class? How you doing, sir? Haven't been there in a while. Anyhow, so yeah, talking about communication is importance and those barriers, and we're in the barriers, and we really went there, but it was good. I think it was needed. We were talking about the psychological barriers, and the barriers reflect the mental state of both the sender and receiver. And I'm not talking mental as in mental illness, no disrespect anyone. I'm talking about your mental state of, excuse me, where are you at right at that point in time in the day? Excuse me. Are you happy? Is this communication happening right after an argument, after a fallout, after an altercation? So what is your mental state? Are you already bubbling over? Are you already set off just waiting on something to agitate you, so you going in? Then that's not going to really work for good communication. And then they also talk about personal barriers, which is these are the personal factors of both the sender and the receiver, which might hinder the process of effective communication. And when I think they're talking about personal barriers, I think they're talking about what you stated earlier. People don't listen to understand, they listen to respond.
Yeah.
And that's a personal barrier, because I'm looking just to get my point across.
Absolutely.
I'm looking to convey my message. Whether you really understand it, I want to drive it home. Like, I'm trying to make my point. But I'm not hearing your point. And in communication, it won't work. We are not communicating if that's a debate then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a debate or an argument, because I'm trying to push my point, you trying to push your point, and there's no understanding. Y'all probably seen that the other day in the Democratic Party. It was all going in on Bloomberg. I don't watch it like that, but YouTube a powerful thing. Stop wasting all your time on TV and watching these shows. Take about one Sunday, watch them all, be done, and get back to the rest of the grind, okay? I just brought that to you. Mr. P.I.E.N and Mr. P.I.E.N people are the good LLC, all right? Watch it on YouTube. It's better that way. Save yourself some time, man. Save yourself some time so you can start learning how to communicate and move your family forward, because they talking all around us, but they not talking to us. They talking all around us, but they're not talking to us. You know what I'm saying? So communication is important. And if you always being the receiver, receiving the message from YouTube, receiving the message, and I know I said watch it, but hear me, watch me. Receiving the message from YouTube, receiving the message from the news, receiving the message from the gossip people. If you always just receiving, depending on what you're receiving, if you're not filtering what you're receiving in your life, that's what you'll communicate out of your life. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Yes. So what's in your heart, if hurt is in your heart, if pain is in your heart, that's what your mouth is going to speak. That's what you're going to communicate. So when I say watch YouTube, when I say or ask you or suggest to watch certain things, go find something that's feeding your soul. Go find something that's feeding your spirit. Go find something that's teaching you how to grow, how to communicate better, how to become a better person, how to communicate your real feelings, how to share your real thoughts and not feeling less of a man or a woman for communicating what you feel. You have not because you ask not. That's biblical. That's not biblical for me and not for her or not for you. That's biblical for all of us if you believe in God like I do, or you believe in something greater than yourself. So if he wants you to communicate to him what you want, then don't let nobody on this earth stop you from communicating what you feel, because it's important. And don't you dare close your ears off not to listen to what someone else is saying, because if it don't taste good to you, it probably don't taste good to them either. So communication is very important. You talked about nonverbal cues earlier, and earlier, I won't say no names, but I was talking to a young lady on the phone, and I had mentioned maybe having my wife jump in on a conversation to help me out with the conversation, just to come from a different angle, different point of view. And I know my wife was tired, had just walked in the house, and I'm always springing stuff on her. I'm like, I got this person you need to talk to. And that look on she just did, and I was like, hey, you want to talk? She gave me that. Not really. Sorry, not sorry. No disrespect to you or that person, but babe, I just walked in the door. So what I seen when I seen that face, like, oh, really? You're not gonna talk? This is what we supposed to be doing. Like, this is what we do. We helping people. But I never asked the question to understand why she was feeling that way. So I, did what I do. I put the phone down on speaker, let her listen in on the conversation so she could chime in if she needed to. But we wind up getting off the phone soon after that. And actually, we started talking about that right before the blow up. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about that, and that's when she really went into communicating about what she feel about her weekend and everything else. And look at that, how me asking her to help me talk to someone, or me talking about that kind of spiraled into a shouting match about something that probably what was clearly communicated or not clearly communicated, however you want to look at it, that happened weeks ago. This is how it can carry over in your life if you don't talk about it, if you don't share what you feel. My lack of communication when I was a child, from the things that happened in my life as a child, carried over into my adulthood in life. I didn't share certain things with you. I didn't share my fears, my hurts, my pains, my upbringing, my childhood. So you just had me from when you met me in high school and you thought, hey, fun, loving, cool. But I had a lot of damage. I had a lot of hurt. I had a lot of pain because I had nobody that I could communicate with to get this out. And if you don't learn how to communicate and get that out for yourself, then you really start to do damage to someone else. And you got your thoughts and ideas of what communication is. They have their thoughts and idea what communication is. Mm-hmm. And if you come from where I come from, I'm from Detroit, 7 Mile West Side all day. And I hung out on the east side, MW, Murray Wright, like all over Detroit. But if you come from where I come from in that type of jungle, you probably really don't know what communication is. It's dog eat dog. I got to get my point across, because if I'm soft on even my communication and I let people run over me, this can happen throughout life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So carrying that, unable to communicate from a kid or communicate my real feelings, like you used to tell me, like, I know, Thug, you're a teddy bear. Because you used to listen to me and communicate with me and got to know me for me and understood. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if you allow yourself not to communicate what you truly feeling, what you really feeling, what's going on in your heart, it could carry over for years in your life. I ain't just talking about communication right now with my wife or with your kids. We talking about your life. You hear people talking about coming out and talking like the Me Too movement. Somebody touched me. Somebody did this. Aunts, uncles, somebody touched me. I was assaulted at school. Like, because people don't know how to communicate. They don't feel comfortable communicating. Or if I go to you and trust you to communicate this, are you listening to understand, or just saying something, say, oh, girl, everybody go through it. All men cheat, baby. It's going to be okay. You just got to let that man be a man. You're like, that ain't helping me.
Right.
That's not helping me at all. I'm communicating my heart to you and what I feel, and you telling me based on what you feel and your fears and that's not helping me. Yes. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense, because that means that person is just listening to respond. They're not really listening to help you get from this point to a healing space, and that's not helpful at all.
No, it's not. Well, it's like you said, Juanita said it earlier, and I wrote it down, and you said it when you were talking. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that's in knowing who your partner is or knowing your audience. knowing who you're talking to, knowing what you're communicating, because the way I'm the same person. I'm the same all day. Ethan, EJ, whatever y'all want to call me, Mr. P.I.E.N, like I know who I am. I'm the same all day. I'm going to be loud sometimes. I'm going to be silly. I talk a lot. I can't tell you it's going to be a 5-minute conversation. It's going to be 55. Like, that's who I am. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to change that. It's a part of who I am. And you know that going in with me. But what I'm learning that being such a talker and a communicator, to listen, how to listen. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably one of the most powerful things in communication is listening, because when you learn to listen, I think in communication, that's when you really can help someone else and give back. You know what I'm saying? You can't help if you're not listening.
Yeah, I was just writing that down. So
How do you
double dutching?
Yeah,
how do I really, if I say I want to help you and I'm not really listening,
hello,
and I'm just spitting out some stuff, then I'm not really
I don't know how to
helping
pronounce
you.
it. Miller, how you doing, Miss Miller?
I'm not really helping you.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
true.
You probably won't consult me again because you're like, okay, when I attempted to talk, you weren't really listening.
You got some.
It's kind of like people asking you, "How was your day?"
Damn.
It's so cliche. I wonder if somebody asked you how was your day, and you stop to really tell them how your day was, would they be inclined to stand there and listen to you? Probably not, because most times when we ask people how was your day, you just want to hear good, and you on to the next thing. And to some people that could be detrimental, because if you ask me how my day was, I'm taking it as you really want to know, when that's not always the case.
That's called the cognitive component of listening. Mr. Smith got his book
Okay,
out.
he got
The reason I said it like that, because you were talking about listening in the process, and what that says, because I took that speech class, communication degree. Now it's all kind of coming back to me. And I just happened to open the book as you was going into listening. I got this book, and I got, you can no lie, I got some stuff marked out that I wanted to get to. Nice. Listening, you went right into it. See, God, communication, God, all things are possible, man. We connected. But anyhow, even when she the one that's punching. Y'all see that? That was her verbal communication. Don't be telling people I punch. People, I'm on things all night. Why? No.
They're not buying that. The people not buying that.
Cognitive component of listening. And look, it says that involves the mental process of selecting messages to focus on, giving them our attention, and then trying to understand them.
Yeah.
So we select what I want to hear in your conversation.
Absolutely.
That's why I think for me, I know eye contact is big. I need to know I got your attention. I got your full undivided attention. That helps me to feel like you there.
Yeah.
But for most people nowadays, that don't work. As social as I am, listen to me, people. It ain't not that I don't like getting on social media and putting out more information and messages. For me, that just ain't social. I'm just gonna be real. Like, this is social to me, and I like to be able to connect. And maybe because I use my phone and I'm selfie and I don't feel like I'm looking or talking to nobody. So I'm learning that part. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we on here on Saturdays, it's good. I got me and you to go back and forth. When I'm by myself, it feels different until people start interacting. But we focus on what we want to hear and what we give attention to. You know what I'm saying? So when you jump on here and you talking, like I was saying about, I like eye contact because it makes me believe the person is paying attention to everything that I'm saying.
It's a non-verbal cue.
Right. If not, I keep forgetting about this camera. If not, then it makes me feel like they're not paying attention. Like when you're on the phone with somebody and you can give a whole run. Here we go. Sometimes, and we just talking communication. Y'all be sure to share this video. Keep commenting down below, man, and tell me what you think about communication and some tips and tricks that help you communicate better with your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your boss. Like, whatever works for you to get your communication across. Give us some tips. Share with us, man. We need to know. We learn. Expression session. Express yourself. Case in point, communication. When people hear what they want to hear. I just said earlier, I'm a talker. I go, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let my wife go. I talk all the time, and my wife would be talking to me on the phone while she doing her thing. And I know she put the phone down because she know I got 6 minutes. Like, I got 6. Now, what I didn't know was that my wife was doing this. Like, I had no clue, so I would just be going. So when she would chime back in the conversation, like, yeah, for real, or really, what you say? I'm like, what? That don't even sound like where I was at, right? We are guilty of it because I do it too. I'm selecting what. Oh, that don't sound important. She just talking about coupon deals. Like, no, dinner. Oh, okay, what? Yeah, okay. So I'm just, hold on, let me get to it. So what happened was I was talking to her one day and I kept hearing all this click, 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 click. I'm like, what did you hear that? She like, hear what? I'm like, is you texting or something? She like, yeah. You ain't hear that? She like, you can hear that? Yeah. So she came out and told me, babe, I be texting all the time. I be texting all the time when we on the phone because I know you gonna be going. Not that I don't hear what you gotta say, but some of the stuff, babe, you just be rambling. So she's selecting, like you said, the cognitive component of listening. I select what I want to hear. I call it selective hearing.
Yes.
You process in the conversation and communication what you want to hear. And sometimes that could be detrimental to your, not your physical health, but your mental health, because you might miss something key in a person's conversation because you are already like, oh, they ain't talking about nothing. I don't want to hear that. And then you just failed the test.
Yes, because here's the thing. What I might perceive as not important is very important to him, or he wouldn't be talking about it. So I'm guilty of that. And I'm a multitasker, and that drives him nuts because he likes the eye contact to know that I have your undivided attention. So I'm working on it.
No, but you're good. I'm learning
it. I know he gonna go for a minute, and I'll be wanting to finish my task. So I'm like, I can listen to you,
Chantel?
And I can still be doing things that I need to get done because I know this. Babe, can I just have a minute? Gonna be like 15 to 20. It just depends on the conversation. So I'm trying to listen and I'm trying to do other stuff. So a lot of times us multitaskers have to learn how to put that down and give our spouse, our kids, that, or our friends, or whomever we're talking to at that moment, our undivided attention, so we don't come off as we don't care or we're not listening, when that's further from the truth. We want to listen, but we're also doing something else. So a lot of times those nonverbal cues convey that we don't care or we're not listening, when that's not always the truth.
Hey, Chantel. She said, hey, y'all. I say, hey,
now.
No, I got this book. Y'all shouldn't let me get no book. You know, you do not give a man a book who was not reading books in elementary school and middle school. And I'm one of those people. I don't take everything everybody say to me. I got to find it for myself. Like I like to say I don't like school. I love education. And I find my own little weird ways to research and do stuff like that. But let me tell you something. When you start getting in these books and you start digging into your life and you start talking to God and you start talking to yourself and you start talking about what you feeling and what you thinking, and you start finding books and reading, man, it opens up a whole nother aspect of life for you. Yes. I want to communicate this with you people. They got us trapped some days in the matrix, a lot of days. They want you to believe that you're not really who you are. They want you to believe you don't possess the power that you really possess. They communicate and they feed in us what they want us to have. When I talked about the TVs and stuff like that earlier, they feeding you what they want you to have. Now they got everybody scared about the coronavirus. They got everybody scared about the Heineken virus. Everybody want to know, be talking about, God rest his soul, now Kobe Bryant is dead. So they about to stretch that out for another 6 weeks for you to have something to talk about. Yes. But you're not focusing on your life. You're not seeing what's actually going on. Listen to me, man. Communication is so key in our lives, not just for us to move forward, but to move the generation behind us forward. Why do we think little boys in the hood, like where I'm from, is killing each other? They ain't got no outlet, nobody to talk to. This stuff don't just happen overnight, bruh. Social media ain't being so social because when it was created a platform that people express, when you got on there and you was probably being real like this, people clowned you. Yeah. Now people just on there for likes and shares and thumbs up and itch like that. but we're not really being social. We're not really communicating with one another and seeing how we can help, man. Listen to me. You got to start talking to a power that's greater than yourself. And I don't care what you call that power. I don't personally care. I call him God. I don't know how much he cares. You got to call him yourself and find out. Him or Tyrone. One of them will pick up. Okay, I promise. One of them go pick up. But you got to talk to him and you got to communicate with yourself to find out, what you really want. And then you got to sit back and you got to listen to yourself. Listening is so much more powerful than it is to be talking.
Yeah.
When you listening, you learning. When you talking, hopefully you teaching. When you listening, you learning. When you talking, hopefully you teaching. Or you probably should be quiet because you've been about to run out of anytime talk minutes. I'm just saying. Call me after 7. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I got a minute phone, baby. Pick up and go. Fridays on the weekends. Okay? It's free. Communication. So I don't know if you have something, but thinking about different forms of communication. When people say, I hear you, I hear exactly what you're saying. You're like, you hear me? Okay, cool. You hear what I'm saying. But sometimes back in the day, people say, you hear me, but is you listening to me?
Right.
Is you listening to me?
Right.
Is you listening to me? Man, we bad about that. They wipe like, you listening to me? Yeah, babe, I hear you. Oh, touchdown. I thought you. No, I heard you.
You heard me, but you weren't listening.
So hearing, it says, hearing and listening are not the same thing. Hearing and listening are not the same thing. Your boy brought a book out, okay? Real communication. Y'all got me out here today, okay? I want to be a better speaker. I got to learn how to communicate myself, right? How can I be on here talking about I want to help the world and inspire the world if I don't know how to communicate and hear what the world want me to give back? I still get stuck on seeing myself as the old me, and I don't see what people communicating to the new me, how I'm helping bless and uplift somebody else's life because God is using me. Communication is key, bro. Communication. Hearing and listening are not the same thing. Hearing is the psychological process of perceiving sound. I hear music. I hear this. I hear my kid crying. After so long, you stop listening.
Tuning it out.
You tune them out. You stop saying, shut up or I'll beat your butt. No, act like you ain't never said that. Because if you're a parent and you got kids, you didn't make some threats about whooping some tail. Okay?
Threats and execution.
And you didn't whoop, right. You didn't whoop some tail. You didn't 2.5 seconds. Because you ain't want to hear that noise no more. You're sick of listening to it. Let me get back to it. So the process.
Did he do a wrestling move?
Hey, listen to me. Y'all call the CPS people if you want to. My daughter tried it before. They told me I was completely legal. I ain't do nothing outside the laws of Texas or whooping the butt. So, anyhow, call me.
But it's biblical. Pull out your biblical card.
Spare the rod, spoil the
child.
Anyhow, so you get tired of hearing all that noise and you react on your kid. You might react on your spouse. You might react on your boss. Maybe because it's bad communication. I don't know. It's going to be a reaction. But hearing and listening are not the same. Hearing is a psychological process of perceiving sound. The process through which sound waves are picked up, blah, 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 by ears and transmitted to the brain. Cool. Hearing is just everybody here. Okay, I heard it. You hear that? You hear that? What was that? What was that? You know? No, I ain't hear nothing. Okay, but I heard something. Like that's
right.
Right. So she said she crying on the floor, laughing or crying?
Crying out, laughing out loud.
What's going on, Vern? I'm talking about this other one. I don't be understanding these emojis.
The emojis is laughing.
Oh, okay. So anyhow, now we gonna get off there.
Communication. The emojis, they communicate something.
And I'm learning. They do. That's it. Social media.
Yeah.
It might not be so social, but it's the way that we communicate now. And if you don't know what these emojis mean, you've been on messed around, sent the wrong person an eggplant, and now you're all in trouble. I know y'all know what the eggplant means because I'm like, oh, you sent somebody a clock. Like, who gonna be tripping on that? Like, what time is dinner? You calling me? Like, so, but if you send somebody an eggplant, if you 40 to 10, you probably clearly know what an eggplant means. Anyhow, make sure you're communicating the right information on these social networks. Okay?
Absolutely.
Listening is a multi-dimensional process of recognizing. Got that note to self. Thank you, Jesus. Understanding, accurately interpreting, and responding effectively to the message you hear. Listening is a multi-dimensional process of recognizing, understanding, accurately interpreting. Listening is a multifunctional, multidimensional, multitasking. Listening is a multi event that's taking place. It's the process of recognizing, understanding, and accurately interpreting and responding effectively to the message you hear. Now, listen to me. I like that eye contact. I don't always get that eye contact from my wife. That's cool. I'm used to that. I know she don't mean no shade by it. She's a multitasker, all that stuff, okay? I ain't into that. What I do understand, especially after reading this definition, is a multi-dimensional process of recognizing everything that I say when she not looking at me and she multitasking. She be right on point when she come back in the conversation. Except that time she was texting. Oh yeah,
I was having two conversations at once.
Except that time,
and it wasn't working.
But I'm saying, if you're not good at multitasking, I don't recommend you multitask while you're listening. Well, what do you mean? You just said it's a. I recommend that you don't multitask while you listening, because the brain is already multitasking several functions on its own, so you can not only hear but listen to the message that's being given to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Hey, Nay, what's going on, Nay? That makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, your turn, go.
Really?
That wasn't a good transition. I'm back.
No.
She like, really? You should know by now. Okay, so get back to communication. So how can we help you?
Something.
Oh, go ahead. Go.
I was
sound like I gotta check on me.
Okay. I was looking up I've heard about this book and I haven't really read it yet, but I thought it would be perfect for, the communication thing. Not only are we working through barriers of emotions and, psychological things, but there's also a communication difference between male and female. And there's this book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And it talks about, what I may be saying to Ethan from a woman's perspective, he may not be hearing the same thing from a male perspective. So there are so many factors in communications. And then I think about the 5 love languages. If you are in a relationship with somebody you love and you're giving them love in your language, it could be service, it could be touch, it could be, any of the 5 things, and you're wondering why they keep saying they don't feel love from you. You're communicating in your language, but you're not communicating in their language. So Ethan and I both have different love languages. So if I'm steady giving him love in my language, he's like, but I don't feel any love from you. And I'm like, well, what you saying? Because I'm giving you all this love. And he like, well,
what's good, Hassani?
He like, well, no, you not, because
I love language.
What he perceives as love is not what I perceive as love. So I can't give him love in my language. That doesn't communicate to him effectively that he's being loved. He doesn't feel love. So communication is a deep issue, not issue, but topic, because there's so many factors that go along to it. And if you're not educated on it,
what's going on, bro? I'm sorry.
Then you're not really conveying your message, and it can't be received in the way that you want to give it. So,
hey man, I'm sorry, what you doing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all make sure y'all share this video. I know we having fun and we having a good time and we laughing, we joking. That's just me. That's who we are. That's what we gonna do. But somebody said something to me earlier, and I might have to turn off Instagram or pause them to get to it. I said I was gonna share this, so ain't nobody on here. Hey, how y'all doing? I'll be back. See you later. Bye. Okay. Share the story. Somebody has sent me something earlier on my Facebook Messenger, and I don't know if they want me to say their name or not, but they know who they are. And it kind of always started out with communication. And I apologize earlier for saying, hey, we had been gone for a minute and we really didn't say why or anything else. We just had a lot going on and, cool, whatever. Somebody sent me a message saying, hey, I thought you were doing expression sessions at 7 p.m. today, because I put on there, hey, expression sessions at 7. And I'm like, I am doing expression sessions at 7:00. What you talking about? It's only 6:30. But then I realized the person that sent me this message is one of my buddies from Michigan. So it's 6:30 for me, it's 7:30 to them, what takes me back to when I listened to Eric Thomas. He said a guy emailed him one time, say, Eric Thomas, I thought you said it, say, thank God it's Monday, but it's Sunday today, bro. He like, yeah, it's Sunday in Chicago and your town, but it's not Sunday in Africa. It's not Sunday in Sydney, Australia, where I get my message out at. So I'm saying at 7:00. But my 7:00 ain't your 7:00.
Yes.
And me being the person that wants to give out this information that God downloads through me and using my gift to be able to bless my family and provide for my family, because that's the plan. I do this because I love doing this, but I'm going to do this, and I'm building to do this for the rest of my life. This is my career. This is what I do. Like, this is my path in life. But not knowing how to communicate, I'm looking to communicate a message of inspiration for you. I'm looking to communicate a message of transformation for you, not just motivation, because motivation is like drugs. You have for a minute, you feel good, then you need another blunt. Roll up, you need another drink. It's like, it's a high for you when you get on motivation. Ooh, that was fire. That sounds good. It's like the pastor on Sunday.
And then
I don't want that. I'm talking about transformation, helping you transform your life. So me not communicating effectively what time the show was going to be on turned into a conversation of somebody asking me, hey, I thought you said 7. And I'm like, oh, wow. Thanks for letting me know, because I didn't think about that. And I instantly posted expression sessions, 7 Central, 8 p.m., Eastern. So as we went back and forth, they said, and I guess they questioned about what time the show was, because they said, I look forward to the show. You're a real inspiration, and I like hanging out with good people. We streaming. I'm like, he said, you're an example of ground level street smart education and success, and it's refreshing. I ain't never claimed to be no book scholar, but I got a lot of common sense. So I definitely agree with that statement right there. And don't let anybody fool you just because you don't got the BSN and the ASM and the CP2 and the PhD and all that behind your name. Don't let nobody fool you and make you believe you can't get God's word out there. You can't get your message across. You can't share something with the 7.7 billion people in the world that are transforming their life. God can use anybody. Paul was slaying Christians, okay? I ain't gonna preach to you, but I'm just saying, don't allow anyone else to communicate their fear to you. Don't allow anyone else to communicate their hurt to you, to where you're doing more than hearing it. You listening it, you processing it, and you holding on to it. Right. Don't allow anybody to do that to you. Don't allow anybody to steal your joy, okay? So anyhow, we went back and forth, and I told him I was appreciative. Hey, I'm speechless. Like I didn't know, again, that my words, my messages was being communicated in translated. I don't know, not translated. I ain't speaking a different language. I ain't know it was being received.
Yes.
Like that, because I only really come on here on Saturdays. I don't do a lot of back and forth communicating. So as we went back and forth, and I thanked him and everything for sharing that message, he sent me a message back saying, yeah, cool. Just know that I see you doing and you rocking your authentic self, and that I'm impressed and inspired with how God's goodness shines through you. It's incredible how you can come from the heart and from your experiences. You are able to just get into the flow and talk for easily 2 hours with inspiring content with no problem
2 hours,
and no script and no breaks to your flow. It's genius, and cheers. Like, real talk. Somebody just sent that to me. I don't know. I can't. You might see the name. So anyhow,
right.
Somebody just sent that to me, and I'm still blown away by it. So shout out to you. You know who you is. You can type your name if you want to. Shout out to you. You know who you is. But all that based off of how we communicated. What if I came back? It's only 6:30. I said 7:00. Not thinking or processing, not hearing or listening to what they said. It was in a text message, so I got time to read it again and decode it and decipher. But sometimes we see stuff and we look right over. What's going on, Joe P.I.E.N? I almost called you Chap, but I remember you post sometimes on your page, Chap, not Joe P.I.E.N. I go EJ, not Ethan. So what's going on, Chap? Joe? Yeah, whatever. Anyways, pineapples. So yeah, man, communication is that important, because as the sender, somebody's on the opposite end of this receiving. Even if on my end I'm seeing 5 people watching, 7 people, 8 people, whatever I'm seeing, you have no idea who's sharing your message. You have no idea who's around the corner watching you. You have no idea who's actually listening. They hear the sounds that you making, but then they listening. And what people perceive in their mind, what you communicate out of your mouth, is what they perceive as their reality. So you have to be careful with what you speak and how you speak it. Hear me? I ain't saying you have to change who you are to be around somebody else. But if you want to be somebody else, you might have to start making some changes in your life. And the best way to make those changes is to start communicating with a power that's greater than yourself. I choose to call him God. I don't know what you call him. And you got to start communicating with yourself. Real, open, honest communication. No, I did it to you again.
All the time.
Hey.
But that was good though. Like I was saying, there are so many avenues to communication. And if you don't educate yourself and you're wondering why, people don't understand you, it could just be a breakdown in communication.
Uh-oh, sorry. This is a breakdown. You got to get one day. We're getting there. Hey, you got to get the communication content out however you can, right?
Right.
Oh, we've covered a lot, man. But let's give she was talking about the love languages, and this is important, man. If you're in a relationship with somebody that you care about, and I'm gonna really say care about, because you know how we do. Y'all be playing sometimes. We dating, sort of, kind of dating. We got this thing going on.
It's complicated.
Yeah. What's complicated, y'all don't know how to communicate. That's why it's complicated, or else, Anyhow, 5 love languages, man. If you got somebody that you into and you really want to go to the next level, figure out what they love language is, figure out how to communicate with them so you can have a healthier relationship. There's all sorts of things out there. Disc assessment, personality test. Man, don't be afraid to do any of that stuff to grow in life. Don't be afraid to go see a therapist if you have to, because it's just another form of communication. Don't be afraid to go talk to God. Don't be afraid to go talk to yourself. Like, it's important that you speak and you communicate. Words have power. It is the most important thing that we probably have in this life. First, you have your imagination and your thought, then you speak it out of your mouth what you want to do, and then it becomes a reality for you.
Absolutely.
And so you communicating that, out of your mouth, out of your heart, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So when I think about communication, and my wife talked about the love languages, the 5 love languages is very important for communication, especially if you're in a relationship, you plan on getting in a relationship. You want to understand what that person's love language is so y'all understand how to communicate with one another if you want to move forward with this person in life. So they say the first one is words of affirmation. The second love language is quality time. The third one is receiving gifts. The fourth one is acts of service, which is my wife's. And the fifth one is physical touch. I don't know, physical touch might be mine, but I think it's more of a subcategory because I don't have to just be touched all the time, even though I like when she put her hands on me. So I don't have to be touched all the time for that type of affection. But again, it's very important, man, if you really want to take your relationship to the next level. If you really want to learn how to effectively communicate the love languages that you may have or your wife may have, if you want to effectively have a better relationship with your children, you will start researching and studying communication. Like the true definition of, or I believe the definition of a leader is someone that leads by example. And leading by example is actually doing the work yourself. And if you arguing and you want to be like, I'm the head of the house and you better listen to me, that's not good communication, bro, and that's not good leadership skills. If you're a leader, you shouldn't have to force your people, the people that support you, that's up under you, that's around you, to do anything. You should be able to lead by example with your actions and your words. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's very important when it comes to, communication in those things. Or if you call yourself a leader, or if you're the leader, the head of your household, whether you're the man or the woman, you single or you together, like that's something that y'all got to talk about. So communication goes deep, man. And if you haven't figured out how to communicate effectively, then I don't have all the answers for you. No,
you just gave him an hour contact.
I know. What I was
say
gonna
you don't
say,
have no information.
No, I just gave him a ton of information. But we didn't tell him how to effectively communicate. And it's real simple to me. Just be open and honest, and think about what you're saying before you say it. You know what I'm saying? I want her honest, raw opinion and emotion, but I know she's the type of person that processes what she say before she say it. You getting tired? You can tell me.
Little
You done? I didn't talk too much and you ain't had nothing to say?
It's okay.
No, I'm done.
It's okay, love. It's okay, love.
You trying to cop a feel, people.
Hey, nah.
Sure, I hit the gym today.
Hit the gym today.
What?
Hit the gym today,
Why
people.
Why you do that? Why you was grabbing on my stomach like I'm fat or something? Yeah, oh, hit the gym today. Yeah.
He is own worst critic. Hey, Czar.
Hey, Czar. I don't know what that communication is. What you want to know? What's for dinner? What you need? Leftovers.
Dad put the meat in the oven, so it'll be a second.
I'm tired.
You tired?
Everybody go night.
Bye,
You've been
y'all.
outside running around, so
Bye.
you're gonna eat and be done.
Yeah. So anyhow, man, communication. Just be open, man. Don't be afraid to be open and be transparent. Like, it's 7.7 billion people in the world. I know everybody don't like what I say, maybe how I say it. Everybody not gonna like what you say and how you say it. Everybody not gonna like what you do, man. But never stop using the tools and the power that you have to speak. You know, never stop using the tools and the power that you have to not just hear, but to listen. Because when you're listening, you're learning. And if you're talking, you probably should be teaching. Or else you just burning up your anytime talk minutes. And they gonna run out one day. So you might want to use that talk time wisely.
Indeed.
Leslie. Ain't no Leslie on there. I just, you know.
It just sounds like a
It
good
just
idea.
sound good. So what you got for the people?
I would just say, in all that we've shared, I think it's important to listen to understand and not to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And just do some research to effectively communicate. Be careful for your nonverbal cues. I know Ethan has expressed that he likes to see, you know, me express myself in my raw emotion, but all the time it doesn't convey, you know, what I'm really feeling. It's just me and my raw emotion, and it may come off like I'm attacking. So I would say, give yourself that time to think about what you want to say and what is it that's really bothering you. Why is it that you're so angry? Was it the person's actions or words, really? Or is this a reoccurring thing that they're always doing and you need to address it? And I think that's why a lot of times I don't like giving my raw emotion, because it's not always, you know, that person's act in the moment. It could be a build up. And now I need to assess myself on why I'm so upset and say, okay, this is something I truly need to address because I don't like it. But
I'm
if
a
I've
repeat offender.
if I've never expressed that I don't like it, this person doesn't know. So effective communication is not only me trying to get my point across, but also making sure that I'm getting it across in a way that it's understandable, that it can be
message. Yeah,
that it can be received.
Successful conveying that. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That it can be received too. I don't want to just be saying some stuff and then you like, okay, she just talking. I actually want my message to be received, because if you care for me and you know that I don't like something, then maybe you can change it. But if you don't know that I don't like it, then how can you change something? And then now you're upset because you're like, you just don't love me. I keep saying that I don't want this. And you're like, well, when did you say you didn't want this? Every time you blow up, it's not you saying you don't want it. You have to honestly and communicate to this person, I don't like it when you say or do this. That way that person knows and there's no guesswork. Sometimes we want people to read our minds. If you have the ability to read people's minds, please comment and let me know how to do that, because I haven't learned it. So if
you will never learn it with me.
If no one tells you how they feel truly in a communicative way so you can receive it and it's received in the way that they want to tell you, then you're not really going to effectively be able to be in a relationship or situation with someone, because there's no real communication. I can't read your mind. You can't read my mind. So if we don't talk about what we feel in a respectable way, then nobody's getting their point across. Nobody's listening. And it leads up to, divorce or shouting matches or, these things that could have been resolved if we had sat down and had a conversation about, what it is we truly feel. And do you even know? Sometimes we want people to figure out why we're upset. I have to sit down and figure out, why am I upset? Why did that action or those words just take me from 0 to 10? What is it really, that happened that I need to assess myself so that I can effectively communicate to that other person?
So what does all this even mean?
So if you want effective
this
communication,
even
you
mean?
have to really dig deep. It's not just a surface of we talking and we having a conversation. There's a lot of factors, and we kind of shared, those
8 factors.
We shared those with you today, and some other things to think about, so that, when things aren't coming together like you want them to, maybe we ought to take a step back and really dig deeper to see, okay, is it me not being an effective communicator? Is it that person just not listening? What is the problem really?
I'm looking at some communication quotes at the same time, and one of the ones we talked about, the biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand, we listen to reply. Ooh, I like that one. Communication must be hot. That's honest, open, and two-way. I like that too. And the one I was going to read earlier, communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity.
Absolutely.
The bridge between confusion and clarity. So how do you get to good communications? What's going on, Liv? How do you get to good communication? How do you get into good communication, man? There's 3 simple steps that I think I pulled from here that I was looking at, and one of them is not in there, but the first one is listen to understand. Listen to understand. Act as if it's you speaking and you want somebody to hear what you're attempting to say, that you're attempting to convey, that you're attempting to have them receive, that you want to imply, whatever. But act as if when you're saying this, you would be able to understand. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So listen to understand. Listen to understand, not just listen to speak.
Yes.
Listen to understand. The next thing you need to do, I just seen this in the quote, the hot quote, but share open and honest thoughts. Share open and honest thoughts, man, especially if you're in a relationship, if you married, you got kids, and like this goes for your kids too. The communication is not just about me and my wife. When I have my kids take the trash out, I say thank you. I say sir sometimes and ma'am to my kids. Not like, I'm bringing myself down beneath them, but they human. I want to show them respect. I want to communicate to them what I want them to communicate back to me.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if they listening to understand what I'm saying, I'm communicating it back to them the way I want it, how it tastes to me, then I'm going to get that in return. I ain't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying? Like,
wrestling move.
I ain't got to worry about all that because I'm like, oh, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got to do all that. So I imply what I want my kids to return to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know, reading that article, Forbes magazine, 65% of the people are visual learners. So what I put out is what I get back. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, and that goes to your comment earlier when you were saying lead by example.
Thank you, Miss
Miller.
Yeah. I can't pronounce
that
it.
Goes back to your comment about
right.
leading by example. Mm-hmm. I can be the authoritative figure in my house and I can rule with an iron fist, or I can come with love and respect because that's what I want in return. So,
I'm sorry.
Really bad.
Oh yeah, I'm big on. I don't be remembering people's name, but I want to pronounce it right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I'm sorry. What was you saying? I ain't hear it all. I'm not a multitasker. I wasn't listening to. Can you say it again? Did y'all hear her, people? What she say? Tell me. Somebody type it to me. Trina. Okay, cool. Trina, thank you. Anyhow, what was you saying?
I was just saying, and you giving the kids respect and something as simple as taking out the trash, leading by example. Because you can rule with an iron fist, but you get more done with love and respect than you do with force.
Yeah. You absolutely get more done with love than you do with force. I learned that with Ghost, bro. I never forget that.
That was a dog we pet said.
Bro, you to get more done with love than you do with force. Communication is key. You even got to communicate with your animals. Daisy, y'all seen on video about a week ago. She on the break 10-11. We got to get some stuff done around here. But her communication was run, stand up on the door, hit that thing. That meant it's time to eat.
Yes.
Ghost used to go to the door and cry and walk in the circle. It's time to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Communication happens in multiple forms. Nonverbal cues, like my wife said, nonverbal cues are even stronger than verbal cues.
Yes.
Because in your mind, the look on your face, like my face used to always look upset. Like I posted a picture of my son the other day, and somebody said, "Why he look so mean? Why his face bought up?" Like, no, that's his normal face. That's his I can't say it, but that's his face. You know what I'm saying?
Practice looking hard?
No. I think they call it a RBF. Romeo Bravo Foxtrot.
Okay.
Romeo Bravo Foxtrot. That's what it is. He had Romeo Bravo Foxtrot on.
Oh,
so
okay.
You know, yeah. But that's his normal look. But depending on what somebody else perceived, that nonverbal look could communicate anger or something else, and it doesn't have to be that. Right. So you have to know what it is. But when you're communicating, again, you got to listen and to understand. You have to share open and honest thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Share your open and honest thoughts. Just watch how you say what you say. Learn who your partner is and learn what sets them off, and ask those questions. Ask to understand, not just to respond. Okay. Yes. And then the last thing I think you should do, which is not in here, don't be so judgmental. Don't be so judgmental, because we all have a past, we all have a history, we all have a rough time, we all have a tiring day, we all have rough moments. So don't be so judgmental when the person is attempting to share what they feel. It might come out. You might not think they should be angry, but what they need to get off, they need to calm down. But if you come on force, nothing gonna happen. Yes. So don't be so judgmental, you know what I'm saying, and just think about it if it was you, and don't have any expectations, as I like to say. It's something that we learning, not to put all your expectations on someone else. You have to communicate to them what you feel, what you would like to have, and then you have to ask them what they would like. You know what I'm saying? So you can just eliminate the expectations. You can eliminate being so judgmental, because we all have a past, we all have a history. And if people pull up our past and our history and put it in front of our face, we all got some stuff we don't want the world to see. So don't be judging nobody else about what they have. Learn how to communicate what you need to say. Learn how to convey your message in a way that is received well, that is understood, and make sure that you ensure, you get an understanding of what their message is, so you can figure out how to move further in life. This happens in your relationship with your wife or your husband. This happens in the relationship with your children. This happens in the relationship with your mother and father. This communication thing happens in every relationship that you in. And the greatest communication you can have is with communicating with a power that's higher than yourself. That's greater than yourself. I call him God. Most people do. Some people call him Buddha. Some people call him Allah. That's cool. That's your choice. I don't know what your background is. Ain't on me. But what I'm saying is, whoever you communicating with or what you communicate it open and honestly. Listen to understand, and don't be so judgmental, man. I really hope this motivation and inspiration was something for your situation. To free and relax your mind as if you're on vacation. That's my new stuff. I like that. Please make sure y'all share this video, comment down below, thumbs up, thumbs down. If this was a blessing to you, be a blessing to someone else. Share this video, man, as we go on and reach 1 billion people.
Follow us on YouTube
at
Mr. P.I.E.N 77.
Yeah. Where else?
Instagram
at
Mr. P.I.E.N.
At
website www.mrp.com.
And
LinkedIn is Ethan Smith.
Coming soon, I guess, some TikTok.
Hey, nah. Some TikTok, some snappity chat.
Some TikToks and some snapbacks, I guess. Some snackbacks and twos. So, I guess. That was a song, Snapback and Tattoos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. She looking at me like I'm gonna find it on YouTube.
I
now.
am right after the show.
No, I'm gonna find it right now. I ain't gonna wait. I'm looking at me like I'm crazy. Communicate me talking about some snapbacks and tattoos. It was a song. But yeah, make sure y'all follow us on the social sites. Check out the website. Continue to be, I don't want to keep saying it, but it's definitely coming. Be on the lookout soon. Those t-shirts we promised y'all. We just really finalizing the last ones, which we gonna use. And actually, man, you can go on there and talk about the ones you like. You got PSP, promote, sell, push yourself. You know, you got JBY, just be you. AYG, activate your greatness. Show up to blow up, of course. And then funeral. You know, we got a few. We have a number of different options that we working with, and I know it's some that people spoke on and things like that. But go ahead and see that first one to come up.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. See what I'm talking about to it, people? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Tyga and Chris Brown. Huh? I ain't even know that. So anyhow, yeah, please make sure y'all share this video. Leave comments down below. Please be a blessing to someone else. This inspirational situation. I mean, this inspiration and motivation helps your situation. Free, relax your mind, man. Take a vacation. Talk to yourself. Listen to yourself. Communicate. Communicate to understand. Listen to understand. All right. It's been real. It's been fun. I gotta let my wife hear this song that she ain't think.
No, we don't want any
Cussing? Is it cussing?